I'm a professional golfer who has gone from occasionally shooting mid-80s to playing some of the best golf in my life. I now average round about level par, and I chuck the semi-frequent under par rounding now. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 things that have changed in my life that are contributing to this change in form. Let's do it. Right, so hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jack, this is Jack Lee Golf. If this is your first time on the channel, please make sure you're doing the usuals of liking, sharing, subscribing. Even despite not doing as many videos now as what I used to do, you never forget that line. Like I said in the intro, there's 5 things that I've changed within my golf and somewhat within my life, especially the 5th point, so stay tuned for that one, that are causing me to, I think, play the best golf of my life. I am fresh off a 68 this morning round my local golf course at Bickleton Golf Club, so I thought this would be a good time to talk to you what those changes are and how it's contributed to me turning fortunes and my turning form. We are here at the Club Indoor Golf Centre. Whilst I'm talking to you about that, we are playing the last 5 holes of Cypress Point Golf Club. This has recently hosted the Walker Cup, which unfortunately the Great Britain and Ireland team did not win. So let's do it. So before I talk to you about point number 1, which is equipment. Equipment is going to account for points 1 and 2. But I've split it into 2 parts because I'm cheeky and I couldn't think of a 5th thing. Before I do that, I'm going to play this hole, or try to. 374, par 4. I'm going to try and hit a 3-wood, pretty straight. Decent start. So, equipment. First part of equipment, driver and ball. So now, I went down to Ping headquarters at Gainsborough. I got fitted for a Ping G430. This club has been an absolute revelation. I did speak about it at length in my What's in the Bag video. So if you've not yet watched that, please make sure you go and do so. Ping G430 Max. It's not in the same settings as what I got fitted for. When I went down to Gainsborough, we found that dispersion got tighter. Distance, whilst this is not the longest driver that I've used, the accuracy and consistency is absolutely superb. Settings-wise, it is 10.5 down a degree and a half, so it's 9 degrees. That helps me, or that causes the driver to sit a fraction open, which for me, as someone that turns it a little bit too much from right to left, is a really good thing. And again, as a preventative measure to stop those overdraws and hooks, I've also got the weight in the toe part of the golf club. Bit of a backstory when it comes to this driver. I was doing a lot of fitting when this was pretty new to the market. I was finding that a lot of golfers had some incredible success despite some of the most crooked off strikes I've seen during fittings. And I thought I could do with a bit of that for myself. I previously had a TaylorMade Stealth 2 Plus driver. Whilst it was incredible out of the middle, any off-centre hits, especially more towards the toe and a little bit high, were penalised severely. So I did not want that in my life. I wanted a little bit of forgiveness. This thing has been an absolute revelation. It's got a Ping Tour Chrome 2.0 65 X stiff flex shaft and Decade multi-compound grips, which I'm probably due for changing because these are getting a little bit worn now. The next thing I changed was this, the 15th club in your golf bag, the golf ball. So I had previously fitted my golf balls to what I was experiencing with the driver. The TaylorMade Stealth 2 Plus was a particularly low spinning driver. So to get those spin rates up and to make the whole club ball situation a little bit more forgiving, I was using a Titleist Pro V1X. I don't, however, have problems spinning my TaylorMade MB and MC irons or my Callaway X4 wedges from 2008. So, driver aside, I am typically quite a high spin player. When I went to the G430, that typically being a slightly higher spinning driver, one thing that I had to do was regulate those spin rates, and the way that I've done that is by going to the slightly lower spinning Titleist Pro V1. Going from the X to the 1 has decreased my spin rates to roughly, well, we're close to optimum now. So driver distance, I'm noticing that it's around about the 275 carry mark, which is wicked. And irons and wedges, I have no problem controlling them. So the first thing that I changed, where I got a driver that was mega forgiving, and then I matched up the ball to my tendencies. 129 left into this one. I'm going to go for a relatively smooth pitching wedge. I could batter a 50 and get there, but I think smooth is better in this instance. touch short. Ooh, just jumped on for a par. Not bad. Right, point 2. Also equipment related, but a little bit different. Now, for those of you that know me, this next one has been a serious game changer. So historically, I have been pretty good from tee to green. In the last 2 or 3 years, I hit roughly 60 to 70% of the greens that I play, which is very good for my standard. But I was often finding that I were having between 32 and 37 putts around, which, as you may presume for a PGA professional, is absolutely dog shit. So, did a review on a lab putter a few years ago. I was very new and naive when it came to that review. I've always had a thought process that putting is very much down to the player and not the putter. Always felt that you could use a wide selection of putters and see similar results. After testing that lab and realizing I got it a little bit wrong, did a little bit more research and then started looking at some potentially for myself. And this was probably my lowest point as a putter as well. So did an online fitting, got a fit for the Lab DF3. I found that this alone has knocked 4 shots off my stroke. So from having hit it really, really well, would still shoot 75, 76 because of the 36 putts around, 32 putts around situation. I'm now between 27 and 31 putts around. So 4 shots saved, all due to this. The confidence that I feel over the putts that are 10 foot and in because of the alignment system, because of the fact that this face wants to return to square, is infinitely better than anything I've experienced before. It's given me the impetus to practice my pace putting a little bit more. As soon as I start matching up, as you can expect, the line with the pace, more putts are going to drop. This thing has been an absolute revelation. Specs wise, 35-inch in length. It's got the Lab Press Pistol 2-degree grip, and I think it's a 69-degree lie angle. So the second thing that I changed in my golf that contributed to me playing as well as what I am doing at the minute is this Lab DF3. Right, this hole now is 121 yard, but it's playing 7 yard downhill. So I'm going to hit a 50. I'm not going to go full pelt. My grooves are still filthy from this morning, so that might reduce spin ever so slightly. I'm not going right at that flag either, because that looks like it's tucked. Might have to go a fraction. Stop now. That dirt in my grooves has just denied me a birdie there. This now is, I think, the most photographed hole in the world. This is number 16 at Cypress Point. And point number 3 is that now having a great facility like this at my disposal, I find that practicing frequently, albeit not, so I don't come in here and hit balls for 2 hours at a time, but just having 15 minutes a day just to clip some, just to work on a few bits, that has been irreplaceable when it comes to me getting better at golf. The fact that I have the feedback at my fingertips of every shot I hit, I know how much it's spinning right and left, I know how far to the 10th of a yard it goes. My gapping has really helped, so there's not a situation now where I don't really know how far each club's going to go. Obviously, you have to factor in wind, elevation, stuff like that. On the sim, it gives you instances of elevation, so I'm even getting better at working out how far stuff's going when it's downhill, uphill. Like I said, distances, I feel like most of the time I'm pin high. My greening regulation percentage were pretty good anyway, and I've only been able to sustain it by doing some serious practice indoors. So whilst it's not been crazy, it's not looked like a Rocky montage. I've not been doing 8,000 press-ups and hitting 3,000 balls a day. But for the 10-15 minutes I get spare most days, the fact that I can just jump onto a course like this and do a little bit of practice has definitely helped me sustain a higher level than where I was at before. So point number 3 is, thankfully, this place. The finest indoor establishment in the Doncaster-Thurnscoe region. I am biased, I know, but it's true. Right, 213. Let's see if we can hit that green. A birdie on here would be outrageous. Get in the comments below as well. In these 5 holes, what's a good score? I think level's okay. Right, that is very fat. It were always going to happen though, weren't it? I start talking about how well I've been playing. The golfing gods are listening. They know what I'm doing. And as soon as we all know, you start mecking out like you've got this game sussed, the golfing gods will just rip you straight down. 32 yard left. Let's see if we can flick a little wedge in there. I might require a birdie on one of the last 2 if I can't get up and down here. 32. Got it. Saved it. Beautiful. Right, point number 4. So, I now take a very statistical, analytical approach to golf. What does that mean? They were two big words that someone from Carcroft should probably not be using. I used to be an incredibly emotional golfer, and a lot of decisions I made on the golf course were based on emotion. And I think to truly be really good at scoring in golf, you can't do that. So I listen a lot to a gentleman called Scott Fawcett, who is the Decade Golf guy, if you can call him that. I can't think of anything else better to call him. The ultimate course management. Another thing relating back to point number 3 is that with being in here, we have access to like the mini maps on holes. So as you can see, this is a 370-yard par 4. Move this in a little bit closer so you can see. But we have these mini maps, and so as you can see, we're on the tee here. 218 yards to this point. The hole is 370 yards. It does just say up there quite weakly. So I'm going to try and hit a 220-yard shot here that will then leave me a favourable distance of about 150 yards left into this flag. By doing this 15 minutes a day, just getting my brain around plotting my way around the golf course, I've found that my course management and my course strategy is so much better, because this is literally the way that I see every hole now. So I see a map. I use a really good app that I'm not sponsored by or anything, but it's called Grint. So if I can't see the layout of a hole and I'm playing it for the first time, I'll use that to then plot where do I want to make my tee shot, where do I want to make my second shot. And also when it comes to the approach, I am paying way more attention to the front, middle and back yardage, thinking of possibilities. If I was to miss it short, am I allowed to do that? If I was to miss it long, am I allowed to do that? Is the danger left? Is the danger right? On the second shot on this hole, I think the Monterey Peninsula is to your right, so I can't be missing it there. So that's definitely changed the way that I approach holes, and I think my approach has definitely changed. Now, when it comes to being statistical with this kind of stuff, so since using information from ShotScope, I've got a really good idea of what shots and how far away from dispersions certain shots are considered to be good or bad. So, for example, I would often hit a lot of shots in a round to round about the 15-foot range, and I would most of the time miss most of them putts. But the make percentage from that region suggests that you should make way less than you do. I think the make percentage from 15 foot for someone that's round about a scratch level of golf like I am is probably only 30%. So when I would miss 7 of these putts in a row, I would be really emotionally involved in missing all those putts. Come off the course thinking I'm a terrible putter. But now that I have the perspective of it's a numbers game. If I miss 7 in a row, I'm quite likely to make the next 3. And taking the emotion out has really helped, because don't get me wrong, I'm still, I think, too emotional as a golfer. Having taken a step back, a good example from today's round as well, I drove it about 320 yards to the front edge. I had a 50-footer. From that range, it's 50-50 whether you 3-putt or you 2-putt. I've unfortunately 3-putted it, came off with a par. Previously, I would have been absolutely fuming that I've just 3-putted despite hitting such a fantastic drive. But now knowing I had an equal chance to 3-putt that as I did a 2-putt, I walked to the next hole. I thought, you know what, that's about right. It were a tricky putt. It were pretty hard to get down into. I moved to the next, and I think I parred that one as well. So that were good. Right, that were a lot of talking. Let's hit a 220-yard tee shot. Then let's see if we can make birdie or a par. That were a better strike than the last. So that's in the fat part of the fairway, just where we wanted. Hopefully leaving us just less than 150 in. We've got 137 there. Perfect. And that is going to be a pitching wedge. Again, with the analytical approach. So one thing that I work off, being a scratch golfer, a good distance to hit pretty much any shot on course is within 10% of the distance of the total shot. That sounded very mathematical, I know. I've got 137 yards. If I hit my next shot within 13.7 yards, that's a good shot. So I'm not looking to hunt the flag. If I can hit it on the green to about 30 foot, that is a good shot. Obviously, anything inside that is a serious bonus. So 137, we've got the Monterey Peninsula on our right. That is where we don't want to go. I'm going to be favouring just slightly left-hand side. I've got the perfect club. With regards to the distances, it's 117 to the front, 144 to the back of the green. I will find it hard to hit this 144 yards, and I will find it quite easy to hit it further than 117. So I'm playing to the fat part of the green on this one. Let's see if we can do it. Good swing. Don't have to go at this exceptionally hard, just a good solid full shot. That felt good. It's definitely pushed compared to where I wanted to play it to. I was aiming a little bit further left than that, but I nearly holed it. and it's gone to 0.4 yards and we've made a birdie. That was nice. Right, last hole, and I'm going to tee off and talk to you about the biggest change in my life and something that has strangely really helped with my golf. Oh, hold on. Oh, just ran out of fairway, but we've only got 47 yards left, so that's fine. So, in April this year, we had a baby girl. She's called Violet. She's now 5 months old. She's beautiful. She's happy. She's healthy. This has seriously changed my perspective on not only golf, but life in general. So, on about the emotional element, before I would come off the golf course having a bad round and the world was caving in, especially if Man United lost in the same weekend as well. I would be particularly not nice to speak to over the course of that weekend. I now have a name on my golf balls as a reminder that basically, no matter how bad it gets on the golf course, I am a dad now, and that is so much more important than anything that could happen on the golf course. So, and whilst being a dad now is the most important thing in my life, it has also had a really nice effect with my golf. I go out a lot more relaxed now, and even if it does start to unfold on a golf course, as we all know, it does from time to time, it kind of keeps me on track. So I'm not recommending that you go out and get a baby. Don't steal one if you're doing it either. That made it sound like I were talking about stealing one and not having one the normal, organic way. This is getting weird. Point number 5, one of the reasons I'm now better at golf is because I've got a beautiful little girl and she makes me see the world a little bit different. And golf is not the be-all and end-all, whilst it is mint. Right, what we got? 47, last hole. Be nice if we can make another birdie to finish 2 under through the last 5. 5 yard uphill, so it's playing 52. Let's stick it close. And that is a birdie to finish. Right, last 5 at Cypress Point, par, birdie, birdie. Feel free to take the information that I've given you today and apply it to your own game. I feel like a lot of the things we spoke about today is very personal to me. So, yeah, that's how I've gone from being quite a poor PGA pro to, in my opinion, a better one. Big thank you for those that have watched the video up to this point. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try my best to stay with the YouTube stuff and try and do some semi-regular content again because I do enjoy it. And apart from that, big thank you again for watching. Do the usuals, like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.